قدمات رو چشام بیا و مهمونم شو گرمی خونم شو ببین پریشون دلم.
Hello, Dragons. It's your principal, Mr. Hicks, delivering your weekly message. Keep up the good work, Dragons. Guess what I'm still seeing? Safe behavior in the hallways. I would like to deliver a shout out to the entire teaching staff for ensuring that you're safe in the hallways. However, what you do when the teacher is not watching you, for example, in the playground. Should you ever put your hands on another student? Think about it. No. Your hand should never be on another student. If a student does put their hands on you, please find an adult on the playground and let them know. When we leave in the afternoon, Dragons, it's very important that when we cross the street, we must use a crosswalk. Here's a short video on crossing the street.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's that?
Walk and Roll Club secret.
It's important to know how to cross the street safely. We cross the street to get from one sidewalk to another. There are a few words you need to know: edge, intersection, and crosswalk. The edge is where the street begins. A crosswalk is an area for pedestrians to cross the street. Most of the times, it has white lines like a zebra. Sometimes they have signs and lights. Sometimes they don't. An intersection is where two or more streets come together and cross each other. This is where most crosswalks are located. All intersections have a crosswalk, but some are marked with painted white lines and some are not painted. Always cross at an intersection because that is where drivers expect to see people crossing, and it's the safest place to do it. Before crossing, look for gaps in traffic. Drivers are supposed to stop for you, but not all of them do. Try to make eye contact with drivers before stepping into the intersection, and make sure the cars are stopped. Now, it's time for the safety rhyme. Issa and Naya, take it away.
Thanks, narrator. All right, you two. This is the official Walk and Roll Club song. Naya's best at it.
Stop every time at the edge of the street. Use your head before your feet. Make sure you hear every sound. Look left, look right, look all around.
Stop every time at the edge of the street. Use your head before your feet. Make sure you hear every sound. Look left, look right, look all around.
After rehearsing the safety steps, keep your head up, your eyes up, and if you can, make eye contact with drivers before stepping in front of their cars. Watch out for drivers who aren't paying attention. Even when it's your turn to cross, stay aware of what is happening around you. Sometimes, things will block your view of the street. These can be things like cars, trash cans, bushes, and buses. When this happens, treat the thing blocking your view like a second edge of the street, and repeat the rhyme.
That was fun. Can we join the Walk and Roll Club now?
Almost. Just a few more things tomorrow, and you're in.
Active!
Congratulations, everyone! We've learned a lot today. We learned to always cross at intersections, stop at the edge of the street, and repeat the rhyme every time. Make sure cars are stopped. Stay alert in case drivers are not paying attention. And try and make eye contact with drivers before stepping into the crosswalk. If something is blocking your view, treat it like a second edge of the street. See you next time.
Nice. Remember, use the crosswalk. Dragons, reading is so important. Reading is so important. It's really important in the sense of acquiring knowledge, learning things. When you learn to read, you can learn to read to learn just about anything. So there's anything out there. Once you know, and we're practicing reading, okay? We want to be practicing reading. So let's see what kind of books our dragons are reading.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's a chapter book. I'm reading Bad Guys. I really like it so far because they make a movie out of it, and it's like a chapter and a series.
The book I'm reading now is
Matilda. I really like it because it's about a smart girl who is mysterious, and she likes to read books more than she really watches TV. And after she goes to school, she has a great life instead of having a bad life with her bad parents. But besides that, she's a good girl. The book I'm reading is When You Catch a Tiger. It's really exciting. I like the part where they tried to catch the tiger to make the grandma feel better because the grandma gets really sick and she tries to help her. And it is a big book, and now I finished the book, so I'm rereading it and taking some notes so that way when Miss Culpepper has a talk with all the teachers and the principal, if we get the testing for the reading, I will be ready for it. Hey guys, today I'm back here. I was reading The Magical Treehouse and I finished it. It was really good. It had my favorite sport, soccer, and it was really fun. I hope you guys read it.
Those are some good books right there. Now for shout-outs. It's from Mr. Radu to Mustafa Sangad. Mustafa showed interest in music class. He participates with his voice by singing and following directions. This next shout-out comes from Miss Fowler to Muhammad Habibi. You are a positive example of the roar. Keep up the good work. This next shout-out is from Miss Sanchez to Jonathan in Miss Oates' class. Jonathan, Miss Sanchez wants to thank you for helping clean up the snack tables and picking up the garbage that was not yours. Excellent job, Jonathan. This next shout out is from Miss Sanchez to Murtasa. Miss Sanchez wanted you to know that you were very responsible by choosing to use the bathroom during recess, even though you missed out on tetherball. Decisions. Murtasa, that was nice. This next shout out comes from Miss Commandatori. Miss Commandatori says that Onaya was responsible with the work and always tries her best. Nice job, Onaya. This next shout out comes from Miss Commandatori. Miss Commandatori wanted to remind Subhan that he's very responsible by working hard to complete all of his 4th grade work to the best of his ability. Nice job, Suhan. This next shout out comes from Akira to Ziana in Miss Commandatori's class. Akira wants you to know that you have been very responsible. Keep up the good work, Akira. This next shout out comes from Akira to Ziana in Miss Commandatori's class. Akira wants you to know that you have been very responsible. Ziana, keep up the good work. This next shout out comes from Miss Little to Miss Polton. Miss Little says you have a super straight, quiet line on the way to science. Nice job, Miss Polton. This next shout out comes from Isaiah to Julian. Isaiah says, Julian, you were quiet in line and doing your job. Keep up the good work. This next shout out comes from Miss Polton to Aitiana. Miss Polton says you were being respectful and responsible. Keep up the good work. This next shout out comes from Miss Polton to Wyatt Johnson. Wyatt, thank you for owning your choices. Another shout out from Miss Polton to Layla. Layla, Miss Polton wanted to thank you for owning your choices. Keep up the good work, Layla. This next shout is from Miss Webb, and she wants to give it to her entire class. Miss Webb said, you were all very responsible by walking in line. Nice, you guys, really nice. This next shout out comes from Ziana to Onaya. Ziana says, Onaya, you are the best dragon she has ever seen. This next shout out comes from Mr. Radu to BB Zainab. BB Zainab, Mr. Radu says, you're practicing the roar by singing in class and following directions. You are one of the leaders in class. This next shout out comes from Mr. Croy to Jackson. Jackson, you showed responsibility by demonstrating forgiveness. This next shout out comes from Miss Lozana to Layla in Miss Tran's class. Layla, you were roaring in line by ignoring distractions. The last shout out comes from Mrs. Spencer. Mrs. Spencer wants to recognize Mustafa R. Mustafa, you are respectful and you help others stay on task in a kind and responsible way. Dragons, keep up the good work.
بیارومم کن سر گردون دیوونم ای جونم بیا که